Good morning, MPC at sa ating mga bisita. Welcome sa weekly economic briefing. Today we have Assistant Secretary Tony Lambino.
Salamat, Yusek Rocky. Magandang umaga po at welcome sa ating weekly economic press briefing co-hosted by the Economic Development Cluster and PCOO. Kabilang sa 0 to 10-point socio-economic agenda ng Duterte administration, ang layunin na paunlarin ang infrastruktura sa pamamagitan ng Build, Build, Build program at mga investment sa human capital sa pamamagitan ng social protection tulad ng 4Ps at mga programang pangkalusugan at pang-edukasyon. Noong February 2017, nilagdaan, actually 2018, sorry. Actually 2019. Noong February 2019, nilagdaan ni Pangulong Duterte ang Universal Healthcare Act. Nilalayon ng batas na ito na palawakin ang access sa health services sa bawat Pilipino. Kailangan sigurado tayo na may sapat na pondo ito, hindi lamang ngayon, kundi sa mga susunod pang taon. Sustainable source of financing ang kailangan natin para tuloy-tuloy ang universal healthcare. Kaya po natin hinihiling na ipasa ng Senado ang panukalang batas na magpapataas sa sin taxes sa tobacco at alcohol. Mula sa Sin Tax Coalition, nakasama ang DOH, DOF at civil society organizations, taos-puso kaming nagpapasalamat kina Senador Pacquiao, Gatchalian at Ejercito sa pagiging champions ng sin tax reform. Ang pagtaas sa sin taxes ang pinakamabisa at patas na paraan upang matugunan ang funding gap para sa implementasyon ng Universal Healthcare Law. Ang Train Law at Sin Tax Bill ang dalawang revenue-enhancing measures na kasali sa Comprehensive Tax Reform Program. Kasabay ng pag-unlad ng ekonomiya, ang pagtaas ng antas ng ating human capital. Ang masigla, madunong at maabilidad na manggagawang Pilipino ang may kakayanan din na makilahok sa paglago ng ekonomiya at maging kapaki-pakinabang sa kapwa. Ang investment sa tao ay napakahalagang paraan upang manatiling mataas ang growth rate ng ating ekonomiya dahil productive ang ating lipunan. Edukasyon at kalusugan ang paraan kung paano natin masisiguro na ramdam ng lahat ang mas komportableng buhay. Sa pagbubukas ng bagong school year, natataon din na ating makakasama ngayong umaga ang Department of Education na may pinakamataas na rating mula sa ating mga kababayan. Ibabahagi po ng kalihim ng edukasyon ang ilang mga updates. Kasama rito ang pagdami ng mga mag-aaral sa ating mga paaralan, mga accomplishment ng K-12 at senior high school programs, at kung paano natutugunan ng DepEd ang mga pangangailangang pang-edukasyon ng mga out-of-school youth at adults sa pamamagitan ng Alternative Learning System o ALS. Kasama po natin muli si Secretary. Sana po magdilang anghel po ako. Kasama po nating muli ang napakagaling po sa operations ng ating Education Department pero napakagaling din po sa inspiration para sa buong Pilipinas, si Secretary Leonor M. Briones. Secretary Briones.
Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Good morning, mayong buntag kaninyong tanan, mga Bisoy, mga nanonood galing sa Visayas at Mindanao at saka sa buong Pilipinas. Maraming salamat, Tony, sa pag-promote mo sa akin. Wala akong ambisyon na magiging senador. Una, gusto naming ipamahagi sa inyo kung ano ang mga bagong developments sa education. Kasi tayo, pati ako na, we are imprisoned by our impressions, our experiences of education when we were students. And so we have the impression of rundown buildings, kulang ng libro, mahihinang mag-English na mga learners, teachers na walang kaalam-alam, at saka maraming krisis, etc. etc. Kasi yun ang sa kapanahonan ninyo, yun lalo na sa kapanahonan ko. at yung ating perception sa education is shaped by that. Pero alam naman natin na the only permanent thing that happens in this world is change. At saka marami ng pagbabago. Kaya gusto naming i-share ang mga pagbabago na ito. On June 3, as expected, mag-umpisa na, mag-opening na ng school classes. Tapos matapos ito by April 3, 2020. Oo. And ang ina-anticipate nating enrollment, parami ng parami. 27,817,737 learners from kindergarten to grade 12, both public and private. Pero karamihan nito ay galing sa public sector. Pataas ng pataas. Kaya yung sinasabi nating traditional backlogs, we do not consider them as backlogs. These are additional requirements because of the continuing increase in enrollment, because of the continuing change in knowledge and learning and the way such learning is disseminated, the change in many aspects of the world economy as well as the regional economy, political systems, and so on, na kailangan mai-reflect sa ating education. So, ito ay yung tinatawag natin na mga additional requirements. No, we are expecting 27.8 million students. Right now, the last time I reported, more than 40,000 schools lang. Now we have 61,000 schools nationwide. Out of the 61,000 schools, 47,000 schools are DepEd schools. Isa ding interesting aspeto na nilakihan ko, my God. Isang aspeto na pagsasabihin natin galing kang private sector, therefore magaling kang mag-Ingles, mahusay ka sa matematika, at saka magaling ka. Kung public sector, medyo mahina ka. Ganon din ang teacher sa public school at saka sa teacher sa private school. Ngayon, wala na yung distinction na yan. We have excellent public schools. We also have excellent private schools. We have schools, public schools which need more assistance. We also have private schools which need more assistance. Ang pagkakaiba lamang ay mas marami talaga ngayon ang public schools dahil yung sinasabi namin, hindi lamang ang mga learners ang nagmamigrate sa public school system, kundi pati ang teachers nagmamigrate din sa ating school system. Iba na rin ang pamamaraan sa pagtuturo. Maliwanag sa batas kasi alam naman natin na na-introduce na yung senior high school system na sinasabi doon kailangan ang estudyante, ang learner, turuan to accept change. Kaya kung mag-introduce tayo ng change at maraming nagagalit na we want to get stuck with the old ways, palagay ko hindi yan realistic. Kasi araw-araw nagbabago ang mundo, araw-araw nagbabago ang knowledge, araw-araw nagbabago ang mga relasyon ng mga bansa, araw-araw nagbabago ang trabaho. Kaya nga noon sinabi ko na by the time na mag-graduate ang aming learners, kung anong tinuro namin ay medyo pase na. Kaya ang ituturo sa estudyante yung mag-accept ng change, magiging critical in their thinking. Saka yung ating pag-interpret ng critical, puna. Ang critical thinking is when you look at a problem, break it down to its causes, and find solutions, assessment, etc. Nasa batas yan mismo ng senior high school. So isa din yan sa pagbabago. At saka siguro napansin ninyo, when you go around, hindi lamang dito sa urban centers, kundi sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa, mabaryo man, ma-urban center, ma-probinsya, napakaganda na ng ating mga school buildings. Kasi yung standard ng ating school buildings ngayon mataas na. They're able to withstand 350-kilometer winds strength sa typhoons, and we always see to it that ready sila for earthquakes and so on. So facilities, ini-improve na rin natin. Now, ang projected enrollment, sinabi ko, 27 million. Ang ating schools ay 61,000. Public ay 47,000. At saka, nakikita din natin kung we look at the data, talagang nag-i-improve na ang participation rate. Ang ibig sabihin, yung pagpa-participate from kindergarten to junior and to senior high school ng ating mga kabataan. Kasi usually pababa ng pababa. By the time sa dating datos natin, magtapos ng junior high school ang isang bata, 50% na lang ang mag-proceed sa college. So nagbabago na rin yan. Sinabi ni Tony kanina, kami very committed kami dito dahil isa ito sa pinaka-importanting contributions ng present administration ay yung pag-expand ng alternative learning systems natin. Kasi aside from formal education, in-enrich natin ang alternative learning systems. Ngayon, we are expecting 823,000 out of school children. Mas marami ang boys. By the way, ang tendency kasi is mas mataas ang dropout rate ng mga boys kasi nagtatrabaho sila maaga pa, they leave schools and so on. So, malaki ang investment natin dito sa alternative learning systems natin. Ngayon, ano naman ang direksyon? Kasi nagawa na natin itong mga bagay-bagay na ito, school buildings, textbooks, etc., curriculum, pagturo ng mga teachers, at saka pagbabago ng paraan ng pagturo sa ating mga kabataan. Ano pa ang direksyon natin ngayon? One, importante pa rin na i-address natin yung access gap, yung tinatawag natin na access to education dahil nasa Constitution yan, very, very clear sa Constitution. So, i-continue natin ang pag-enhance ng non-formal education. Mag-establish ng schools in barangays, school-based feeding program, at saka mamaya, kasama ko dito ngayon si Yusek Alain Pascua, itong Last Mile Schools program. Even as we are very proud of the how many 100,000 classrooms that we have built under new standards. By the way, ang nasisira sa mga typhoons at natural disasters, hindi yung bagong buildings natin. Dahil mas mataas nga ang standards natin. So mayroon tayong tinatawag na Last Mile Schools program, and this is where media has been very helpful to us. Kasi kung may nakikita silang may mga lugar, mga eskwelahan na hindi pa naaabot, may mga nasa far-off islands or nasa mga bundok, hindi naaabot ng ating mga reforms and transformations, sinasabi ng media yan sa amin at na we immediately respond. Yung tawag namin last mile schools program, this will be for 2019, yung hindi pa naabot ng ating mga pagbabago. So from access, gusto nating ma-move on to quality. Kasi ang Constitution does not talk about free education, basta edukasyon lamang. Kailangan, sabi sa Constitution, quality education. So ngayon, we are now involved in curriculum review. This is a continuing activity. Kasi sinasabi ko, ang knowledge palagi ay nagbabago. Yung alam natin ngayon, iba na sa alam natin dati, lalo na sa aking panahon, no? Curriculum review. Not only that, hindi kami interesado lamang sa aming learners but sa aming teachers as well. So, mayroon tayong National Educators Academy of the Philippines na gusto nating matransform. Magiging instrumentality ang mga teachers sa pag-transmit nitong bagong ways of thinking, of solving problems. Ang focus kasi dito is really analysis and solving of problems. Hindi lamang yung pag-memorize ng data, mga dates in history and so on. And we are also strengthening our links with government and industry and private education. We are continually talking with them because at the end of the day, sila ang pinaka masugid na mag-a-absorb, magbibigay ng trabaho, magbibigay ng opportunity sa ating graduates. By the way, may tanong kanina sa akin in one of my interviews early this morning na anong nangyayari na bakit patuloy pa rin ang senior high school program at saka gusto na ng mga parents magtrabaho yung kanilang mga anak. By the way, 2 years na tayo nakapag-graduate sa technical vocational. Karamihan ng ating graduates nagmamarcha pa lamang may trabaho na. This is because we have the immersion program. Ina-absorb sila ng private sector. Sinabi ko na ito dati. private sector has no problem accepting graduates of senior high school sa TechVoc programs. Dahil wala silang civil service requirement na kailangan graduate, you have to be college graduate to do IT work. Because we teach them in high school already. We teach basic accounting. We teach basic engineering, architecture, design, sports at the high school level, senior high school level. Kaya ready na ang mga bata na gustong magkaroon ng trabaho. So gusto nating ma-upgrade ang professional development ng ating teachers. Tapos we continually talk, may council tayo at saka nag-commit ang business sector that they will accept and have been accepting, especially sa tourism industry, ng mga graduates natin sa technical vocational. And so we are still furthering improvements in teaching and the learning environment. Now, anong ginagawa natin ngayon? Ang pinaka-urgent na question, paano tayo naghahanda para sa opening ng school year? Alam niyo, we are still continuing with June 3. There are many reasons for this. I have explained earlier weather at saka yung capacity ng buildings natin to be able to put up with climate change and so on. Mayroon tayong ginagawa na programa na early registration. So pwedeng mag-online register ang mga parents ng mga anak nila. Mayroon din tayong school readiness assessment. Kasi earlier, tinitingnan na natin kung paano na yung mga schools with may excess ng teacher items or may excess ng classrooms, may kulang, etc. At saka yung mga regional directors natin palaging nag-uusap tungkol sa kung saan ang kulang, kung saan ang sobra. So, pinaghahandaan yan. Early registration, school readiness assessment, beginning pa ng school year 2019. Sa taong 2019, ginagawa na. Ang pinakaalam ng publiko, of course, and maraming salamat sa media, ay ang Brigada Eskwela. Itong Brigada Eskwela, napakaganda ng konsepto nito dahil totoo talaga sa lahat ng activities ng government na binabayaran ng buwis ng mga citizens natin, ang edukasyon at health ay ang pinaka-interesante ng mga citizens. Napakataas ang expectation. Lahat, siguro kung pag-uusapan ang building o ang kalsada o ang bridge, hindi lahat eksperto dyan. Pero pag sabihin mong edukasyon, halos lahat na citizens may nasasabi tungkol sa edukasyon, maski sino ang tatanungin mo. Dahil, as I said, siguro aware naman tayong lahat na taxpayer. Each time magbabayad tayo ng income tax, ng real property tax, ng sin taxes, alam natin na mahalagang bahagi ng mga taxes na ito na pupunta sa edukasyon. Dahil ang edukasyon ay ang pinakamalaking bahagi naman ng ating budget. So sa Brigada Eskwela, ang konsepto dito, hindi lamang ang teachers o ang learners ang maglilinis, maghanda. Kasi 2 months vacation ba naman, so pagbalik mo, kailangan handain yung mga classrooms. So ang community, buong community ang involved. The parents, the spouses of the teachers. I see husbands and wives of teachers coming in to help. Mga community groups, private sector magdo-donate, mga minor repairs, etc. And it's a fiesta thing. May national launching tayo, tapos sa regional level, kanya-kanyang date yan ng pag-launch. In the case of Marawi, we had 2 Brigada Eskwelas just for Marawi na nationwide. Hindi lamang yung taga Marawi lang ang umentra sa Brigada Eskwela. Buong bansa ang sumali sa Brigada Eskwela. 2 yan para sa Marawi. And we do that each time may mga sakuna, no? So ito sa Brigada Eskwela. Taxpayer sila, parang investment nila yan. Pag nagbabayad sila ng tax, they invest in education, therefore, they look out for their investments. And they expect returns, of course. So, nakaka-generate ng ang estimate natin dito by millions, even by billions already, ang na-generate na mga contributions ng parents. Tapos mayroon din tayong Oplan Balik Eskwela. Again, ang konsepto natin dito ay ang edukasyon, hindi lamang responsibilidad ng Department of Education. Nandyan ang police, nandyan ang Department of Health. So lahat 'yan nagtutulungan, DPWH, MWSS, Department of Trade, Pag-asa, and so on para paghahanda sa pagbalik eskwela. Ngayon, I'd like to close with something which really I find very touching and of which I am very proud of. Palaging sinasabi, palaging dinedebate yung quality ng public education as well as private education. I am very proud to report na ang ating mga kabataan, hindi lamang sila ang husay-husay kumanta, ang husay-husay sumayaw, ang husay-husay mag-arte, ang husay-husay magsulat, pero napakahusay nila sa science and technology. They have been participating in international contests sa robotics, sa mathematics, and ang pinakabago, last year I reported on this also, ang bantog, pinaka-famous, prestigious na contest ay ang Intel International Science Fair, which was conducted last May 12. We had a delegation of 12 young high school kids, all from public schools, from Philippine Science High Schools and regular schools. At ito, nag-present sila ng researchers. Inggit na inggit ako dahil nung high school pa ako, hindi naman kami nag-research. Tinuturuan kami ng facts, nagme-memorize, tinuturuan tayo ng systems. Pero to do research, to do original research, these kids are doing it already at the high school level. Galing ito sa ating Philippine Science High Schools and at ang laki ng suporta din ng mga parents. Itong mga batang ito, naka-honorable mention sila sa kanilang research. At saka very interesting yung mga researches na ginawa nila. Yesterday, I had a dialogue with them and I learned from them. I asked them what should be done to encourage the teaching of science and technology, to encourage more children to participate in these contests and so on. And they gave very, very sound advice. Ito, 80 countries, 1,800 participants, at saka gulat na gulat ang mga Filipinos also na, marunong naman pala mag-English itong mga high school kids na ito. Wala naman palang punto, at saka napaka-knowledgeable sa science. And when you compete at world level and you get recognized, then that is really something to be proud of. Last year, I reported about children whose sa research din nila, mga meteors were named after them. No? Nakaka-award. Mayroong mga minor planets named after them because of what they have developed. These are the future builders of our country. At isang natutunan din nila, tinanong ko, anong learnings ninyo aside from that? Natutunan nila na hindi mo maiwanan ang social sciences. Kasi sa fair na yan, hindi lamang engineering, hindi lamang technology, hindi lamang research ang pinag-aaralan, kundi behavioral sciences, community relationships, mga racial prejudices, social and literature and so on. So nakikita nila na kailangan nila balanse yung edukasyon nila. And we are, as I said, very proud of them. Kasi yung research na sinasabi nilang alternative sound absorptive material na hindi ko naman maintindihan, na mayroon silang video na ginawa nila and explain nila kung ano, napaka-detalye and the way they did the research nationwide kasi nag-find sila ng material ng mag-absorb ng sound from water lilies to rocks to particular fibers na very innovative na pwedeng gamitin for industrial use. Mayroong iba may pag-aaral sa agriculture na ginawa din ng mga bata. So I would like to end with this update. I hope that you will share the good news in education. There are challenges, of course, hindi yan madi-deny, but we are facing up to the challenges. We are supported by the community. We are supported by the parents. We are supported also by the administration. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary. MPC kasama rin ang other DepEd officials, USEC Annalyn Sevilla, USEC Jesus Mateo, USEC Elaine Pascua, and Assistant Secretary G.H. Ambat. Ambat. MPC questions. Rose Novenario. Microphone.
Hi, ma'am. Good morning.
Hi, hi.
Ma'am, kasi papalapit na naman po yung tag-ulan. Paano po maa-address ng DepEd yung ginagawang evacuation center po yung mga eskwelahan sa panahon po ng mga kalamidad na aantala po yung mga klase, naaabala po yung pag-aaral ng mga bata?
Thank you for that question because as early as last year, uh, nagiging tradisyon na pag mayroong disaster, takbo sa eskwelahan because itong mga pinaka-sturdy, pinaka-strong na mga structures natin. At saka yung mga bata, magagawa ng tinatawag na temporary learning shelters. At the cabinet, I proposed to the president that schools, as much as possible, should not be used as evacuation centers. Ang sinabi ko noon, and I said this last year, and I also reported, our children have sturdy, strong homes. And it is the height of Christian charity that our children give up their homes for those who also need shelter. But there has to be a limit to it. So, last year pa, nag-promulgate na ng policy, and this was covered by media. Ang presidente, ang local government should be encouraged to build their own multi-purpose centers na as much as possible, unless it is unavoidable, hindi talaga paalisin ang mga bata sa eskwelahan to make room for those who also need it. So ngayon makikita na natin, mayroon ng mga designs na nga ginawa ang NHA ng multipurpose centers. So priority talaga pag mayroong i-evacuate na mga victims ng sakuna and we have to take care of them, doon sila sa multipurpose centers. At saka only in extreme cases na maubusan na ng multipurpose centers or yung local government walang multipurpose center, saka pa i-request ang mga bata. Alam naman natin ang risk sa mga bata. Sinabi ko yan. Ang risk sa ating mga bata na magkahalo within the vicinity also of the grown-ups. At saka hindi lang naman na pagbalik ng mga bata, hindi naman they go back to the classroom as is. Siyempre, iba na ang itsura ng classroom mo after it has been occupied. So, marami na ngayong mga local governments, ina-avoid na nila yun because that is a mandate of the president already. And this is one initiative. We changed decades of practice wherein schools are used as evacuation centers. And the local governments are already building their own multipurpose centers for this.
Thank you, ma'am.
Question, MPC, Chona, you?
Ma'am, on mandatory ROTC, kaya ba yan i-implement ba yan this school year?
Before I turn over the microphone to Yosek Alain, kasi siya ang very knowledgeable on the mandatory, I'd like to state that I am in favor of the mandatory ROTC for senior high school. Kasi equivalent yan ng first 2 years of college nung dati. Ako siguro ang pinaka-senyora, pinaka-lola dito sa kwartong ito. Pinanganak ako ang panahon ng World War. Hindi pa ninyo, ang nakikita ninyo, mga movies lang ng World War. When, of course, sa history, alam naman ninyo, nung nag-sneak attack, World War II, ang isang government, isang state at Japan, bombed and attacked and took over the Philippines. Ang unang nag-defend ay ang ROTC because they were the easiest, the fastest to mobilize. ROTC, I know for a fact that in my province, many young people gave up their lives and led in the defense of the country. And yun ang purpose ng ROTC. Kaya yun din ang purpose, I think, ng ROTC ngayon, na magkaroon tayo ng source of defense. We cannot be relying on other countries to defend, as we know by our real experience that medyo may katagalang dadating yung mga external assistance dyan. So we have to rely on ourselves. So as a matter of principle, I am for the mandatory ROTC para matutuhan naman ang ating. At saka isang gustong-gusto ko na bagong develop feature ng ROTC, of course, girls are also involved. Nagtitrain din sila. In Silliman University, where I was former chair, the best battalion are led by girls. The commandant of the ROTC in Silliman for how many years standing was always a girl. And it's always very nice to see young men saluting girls.
Yusek Pascua, please.
If the Senate will be passing the bill before June 7, then they will meet as a BICAM and have the law have the bill submitted to the president. And if we can implement that by June, for example, of this year, that would depend if the law would be signed by the president by that time. Ang isang provision na nakalagay dun sa Senate version, we propose a 2-year pilot implementation program. Meaning we will not implement the law fully to cover all grades 11 and 12 or all schools pagkapasa niya as batas. Kung hindi, we put there a 2-year pilot implementation program that would only cover about 100 schools as a pilot implementation. After which, every year thereafter, we will be reporting to a Joint Congressional Oversight Committee on the implementation and other details of the implementation before it will be fully implemented. That is with the presumption that the law will be signed before the new Congress would convene.
Good. Thank you, Yusek Elaine Pascua. Chona.
So may additional pa yun, sir, yung sa 100 na pilot implementation.
What do you mean?
Paano yung process sa pagpili doon sa 100 schools na magiging pilot
Initially, we already have actually a list with DepEd, DND, and the AFP have already selected or identified several of the pilot schools. These are the schools that are very near AFP bases or military bases. Yan yung muna yung ginawang criteria. And then the schools would have large grounds enough for the drills. Yan yung, initially, that's the selection that we have.
Ay, sir, private and public schools.
Yes, both private and public schools. But in the pilot, there are only a very small number of private schools. And they volunteered for that.
Yung 100 po lahat nag-volunteer. And
Ang process kasi namin dito, sabi namin sa Senate, kay Senator Gatchalian, it would be very hard for us to implement it right to all, right there and there to all schools. Medyo parang senior high school din, meron tayong 2-year pilot phase. So yun yung naging model namin. It's a 2-year implementation phase para sa ganon makapalahat kung ano yung mga naging problems, issues, nakapag-adjust pa, and then we implement it to all schools.
And what are the safeguards, sir, that the DepEd will implement to combat the cases of harassment, hazing, mga ganong abuses?
Yeah, we have proposed to Senator Gatchalian and to the Senate several mechanisms on how to deter abuses. No? One is that establishment of grievance committees from the district level up to the national level. And the district and the grievance committees will be composed of both DND and DepEd. No? Investigatory yung kanyang function, and then later on, pagdating sa prosecution, they will have to undergo different kinds of laws. No? If the involved will be military personnel, they will have to go through the articles of war. No? If a civilian naman yung and DepEd personnel, we have our own grievance mechanism that we will follow. So may ganong, that's the first step.
At saka ang magandang feature dito is the role of the DepEd. Major ang role ng
Yes, ma'am.
DepEd. Hindi lamang na mag-turnover tayo ng ating mga estudyante for our ROTC training. Hindi ganon. Kasali ang DepEd from the making of the guidelines, mga rules, discipline, and so on, abuses. Nandyan si DepEd. Hindi lamang ang school ito yung, as I said, mas magandang feature.
Yes, ma'am. There is also the Joint Congressional Oversight Committee where DepEd and DND will jointly report every year in the implementation phase, in the pilot implementation phase, and even in the first years of full implementation. Aside from that, DepEd has proposed, and it is already incorporated in the Senate version, an instructors academy, an ROTC instructors academy, where all those who will be teaching ROTC, whether coming from the AFP or coming from DepEd or coming from DND, we will be undergoing a training, a capacity building training, so that all the necessary laws, policies, guidelines, and approaches will be given to them. No? Yun yung mga ginawa naming mga, what they call this, measures, mechanisms to ensure that our students will not be subject to abuse. And we have laid down several of the laws. The optional protocol of the United Nations, the special protection on children, rights of children, marami kami nilagay doon that they would be following up or that they will be observing.
Isa pa, yung curriculum, kasi hindi lang naman palaging nagtatakbuhan sa field at nagbabaril-barilan kuno ang mga bata. Maraming tinuturoan sila ng nationalism, ng Philippine history. Ang DepEd talagang may interest sa curriculum mismo. And I think this is the important feature na expanded ang role ng DepEd in the implementation of the program itself. Hindi lamang isang departamento. At nakikialam tayo sa curriculum. I have sat through some of the curriculum, the subjects na pinag-aaralan ng mga bata na ma-assure natin na ma-instill yung history, ng nationalism, protection of the country, and so on. Sa side na yan ng DepEd. Pakialamero this time si DepEd. Lula eh.
One last na lang po. What is the assessment of the DepEd sa mga fraternities and sororities sa school? Active pa ba yon ngayon?
Sa akin lang ito ha, sa tingin ko, hindi kasing pervasive ang fraternities and sororities sa high school level hanggang senior high school level. This is more at the university level kasi dito talagang very intense ang rivalry. Ang ini-encourage natin dito yung mga associations, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, choral singing groups. Like we have a choral singing contest this coming June, mga dramas, etc. Yun ang ini-encourage natin sa at the level. Pero mas pervasive yan sa university and college level.
Okay, Raymond Tinasa.
Good noon, Secretary. Yung honoraria ng mga nag-serve na teachers as election inspectors, na-receive na ba o kailan dapat nila ma-receive yung honoraria?
Ang responsibilidad sa honorarium ay sa COMELEC. Ang participation ng DepEd is in the policy itself, mga rates, ganon. Pero ang budget para sa honoraria ay nasa COMELEC. Ang pagbabayad sa mga teachers ay nasa COMELEC. Binibigay ang honoraria kasi 2 tranches yan. Parang may advance in the morning, pagbigay ng mga documents, etc. Pagkahapon, pagkatapos ng electoral process na isusubmit na lahat na requirements, babayaran ang balanse. At ang nagbabayad nito ay ang COMELEC. Siguro si Yusek Alain makadagdag din at saka si Yusek Ann nito.
Please.
Yung,
COMELEC ito.
yeah,
Issue.
yung ESRA law, the Election Service Reform Act, is mandating the COMELEC to pay in full all the honoraria and allowances by May 28. Oh, that's the 15 days after elections. No? And at this time, we have received several reports that there are still some teachers, very few of them, that have not yet received in full their honoraria. But the allowances have already been paid, yung honoraria na lang ang hinihintay nila. But for allowances, for transportation allowances, that's 1,000 pesos. For honoraria, it
6,000.
ranges from 4,000 to
To 6,000.
6,000 pesos. No? Depending on the position, whether you are a DepEd supervisor official, member of the electoral board, chairman, mga ganon. The rates of the honoraria and the allowances have been prescribed by the Election Service Reform Act. No? Nandun yan sa ESRA.
Lastly, Secretary, baka nakarating na sa inyo yung nangyaring trahedya sa Libon Albay, yung
Yes, yes.
So, 4 na guro yung galing sa Brigada
Yes,
Eskwela yung namatay. Meron po bang special or assistance na ibibigay sa pamilya ng 4 na gurong bayani?
Usually, kasi kung umaasa lang tayo sa budget, walang funds available. Pero usually sa mga sakuna na ganyan, una, nagko-contribute kami as a department, no. Oo. Nangyari 'yun halimbawa sa Basay kung saan 11 ka mga learners na patay din sa isang aksidente. Nag-fundraising kami, and since we are a very large organization, aywan ko sa ibang organization kung nagbigay sila, pero I know the superintendents, the principals, the teachers at an individual level, the members of the EXICOM, all of us contributed. Pero may balak tayo na i-expand ang benefits ng Provident Fund para makover itong mga pangyayaring ito. Kasi ang ano natin, ako ang aking perspective, if a teacher passes on, mayroon siyang benefits sa Provident Fund, but we should double it if a teacher passes on, especially in the line of duty. And we have already done that, doble namin. At saka yung fund na riniraise namin, kasi like sa Basay, napaka-overwhelming ng response ng public at saka mga teachers, kasi mga estudyante, ganon magmahal ang teacher sa estudyante. So, siniset aside namin yan para sa mga ganitong klaseng sakuna, magagamit din namin. We are raising and generating funds on our own. Pero gusto namin magkaroon ng campaign talaga. Maybe serious campaign. Dahil hindi naman namin kasalanan yung mga vehicles na that is the responsibility of the requirement namin yan na kailangan at saka may agencies tayo in charge of that, pero since marami kaming teachers, usually nagiging biktima sila, so on our own at this time we are doing and compensating, helping out.
Thank you, Secretary.
Okay, RJ and then Alvin.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, do we have ways to track whether our senior high school students are seeking employment or have been employed?
We have been tracking them, pero hindi pa complete ang ating data. Halimbawa, yung sinasabi ko na sa technical vocational, medyo marami ang information natin. Kasi as I said, nagmamarcha pa lang, nag-graduate pa, may mga trabaho na sila, ina-absorb sila kagad ng private sector. At saka mayroong asosasyon, yung tinatawag yung best mga grupo ng mga sa industry at saka sa private sector na nagko-commit talaga sila na tatanggapin nila ang ating graduates, and they're really helping. Actually, napakalaki ng support ng private sector sa senior high school program dahil sila ang nakikinabang. They don't have to wait for the kids to finish college for the kind of employees that they need. IT, hindi naman kailangan college graduates sa IT or even early forms of engineering, sa beginning parts of engineering or cookery and tourism. Tourism napakalaki ng demand.
So these are the sectors that are absorbing our
Sa technical
senior-
vocational.
Yes.
Oo. Sa college naman, yun ang mas more difficult to track kasi na sila sa university level na sila pumupunta. Ang natatrack namin that they proceed to university nag-academic, 60% ng graduates natin. 39% usually technical vocational, and significant yung pagkakita ng trabaho. Between a senior high school graduate who undertakes immersion in any kind of work, whether it is accounting or ICT or engineering or cookery, and one who is outside applying any time of the day, the business will accept those whom they have trained already. Usually, pinipili nila yung mga mahusay na nag-train sa kanila.
First batch of our graduates are they were in, they graduated in 2018, right, ma'am?
Pardon?
First batch of our graduates. 2018.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Oo.
Ma'am, do we have data like how many of these graduates are now employed?
Right now, hindi, as I said, hindi complete ang data natin. But we are already starting to accumulate the data. At saka, as I was saying, marami nagmamarcha pa lang. They are already accepted. Sa tourism, yung mga halimbawa, I will not mention the names of these big resorts. You will notice that those nice kids, very polite, very helpful, nasa desk, nasa accounting, nasa services, nasa tourism, they are actually senior high school graduates na natitrain ng husto. And you have schools halimbawa, like in Bohol, mayroon tayong public school na they have a small hotel. And yung tourism hotel association sa Bohol furnished, nag-build sila ng rooms na pareho sa rooms nila sa actual hotels nila. And this is where the students also practice. So from, as I said, from sa desk, from to laundry or to cleaning and even accounting, as I said, tourism, lahat covered yan, cooking, sa mga schools natin.
Ma'am, also, you said we are very good at science and technology, mathematics, and English. To what extent have we improved, like in 2018, ma'am, based on our NAP?
The results will be coming out. The results will be coming out. Mixed ang results because we have, as I said, we have some very, very good schools.
That's 2018, ma'am?
Yes, yes. Not all are of uneven ang quality ng ating mga schools, and but those who are doing very well do very, very well, and those who have to catch up need to catch up as well. So, mayroon na, kailan ba? December ba ang results ng ating achievement tests? This month lalabas ang natin diyan. But some, as I said, not is one way of looking at achievement. Another way also, of course, as I said, is for those who take up technical vocational, do they land jobs or not? Oo. How well are they doing in the international arena? How are they performing? But we recognize also that we have catching up to do as well. Mixed ang picture, but the picture is continually improving.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, last two. Alvin and then Ace.
Secretary, magandang umaga po. Secretary, nabanggit nyo kanina, mayroong migration ng private school teachers to public school teachers. Obviously, dahil sa sweldo.
Dahil sa?
Sa sweldo. Ano ba ang disparity ng sweldo ng public saka private school teachers?
Actually, nag-decide kami na, may study kami niyang ginawa. Nag-decide kami na hindi muna namin i-share dahil ang Department of Budget, gumagawa na sila ngayon dahil tapos na yung SSL and they're doing it at a nationwide level. Kasi as taxpayers, ang interest natin na tayong mga taxpayers na nagbabayad ng buwis, whether direct or indirect, ang pinag-interesan natin hindi lamang ang isang sektor sa education, but yung buong government system. So yung study ng DBM is going to be very comprehensive. Hindi lamang DepEd, public-private, but DepEd teachers vis-a-vis other employees in government, the nurses, the engineers, the clerks, the IT people. Talagang comparative yung study nila. Sa amin is more specific, nakafocus sa teacher. But I can answer right off the top of my head. I mean, hindi naman top of my head because we have the data on it. The differentials is between 30 to 70%
30 to 70%.
Ang
Much.
mataas.
Yes.
Higher. This is 2 years ago. Wala pa yung SSL.
Mas tataas pa, Secretary.
Mas mataas ang public sector.
Secretary, total na
In general ha, hindi natin i-consider yung 5 biggest richest private schools. But look at your private school in your little hometown. The convent school, the Christian school, the small high school in the capital. Yon, i-compare natin, the range is 30 to 70%. And this is a study conducted by the Philippine Institute of Development Studies of NEDA. We commissioned this 2 years ago when I came in.
Secretary, total na pag-usapan yung salary. Kailan kayo huling nakausap ni Presidente tungkol doon sa lagi niyang sinasabi, dodoblehin yung sahod ng mga teachers?
Last kami nag-usap sa Bulacan. Kaya mahalaga na ang study ng DBM dahil pumayag naman si Presidente na pag-aralan yung buong salary system ng buong pamahalaan. Hindi lamang ang teachers, kundi yung sa buong pamahalaan. Dahil ang implikasyon nito napakalaki. Halimbawa, kung budget namin ay 500 billion, 350 billion of that easily is salaries. Oo. At saka magkano ngayong kung mag-starting level ka at that particular, kailangan makikita yung buong picture. Oo. So, siguro kung pinag-iisipan ng presidenteng pataasan ng sweldo ng teachers, hindi naman niya nakakalimutan ang nurse, ang engineer, ang bookkeeper, ang clerk, ang taga-communications na mga nasa gobyerno. Palagay ko iniisip din niya. Kaya kailangan makita yung buong picture.
Secretary, isa na lang po. Kamusta po yung acceptance ng public in general doon sa K-12? Fully accepted na ba ang K-12 sa atin?
Una, ang K-12 is covered by law, no? And that is very clear. Secondly, may case na final sa Supreme Court. Hindi naman sinauli naman ng Supreme Court. Kasi sinabi nila, hindi naman sila dapat makikialam sa bagay na yan. Thirdly, nakikita naman natin na may gamit talagang beneficial ang senior high school program. Kasi nung nag-umpisa tayo lang isa sa 3 bansa, Pilipinas at 2 African countries, na 10 years ang basic education. Halos lahat na bansa ng mundo, 12 years ang basic education. At saka kung minsan magyayabangan kami mga ministers of education, sinasabi ko, oy, kami, 12 years na kami. Ang sagot naman, kami, 14 years na. Oo. Kasi alam mo, ang interest, lalo na sa mga countries in Asia, is really English, science, and technology. Ako, I'm batting for the arts. I'm batting for the social sciences na kailangan i-balance. And so, they add additional years just for English and technology. Oo. So, yun ang trend ngayon sa mga educational systems na pambihira kang magkaroon ng 10-year basic education system at this time. Considering, as I said, the level of changes. Halimbawa ang Singapore. Singapore is idol ng lahat yan. It's accepted as perhaps the best, the highest performing educational system. But they have 225,000 learners. Contrast that with our 27 million. 225,000, isang distrito lang yan sa Metro Manila. Ang ating distrito dito, millions ang estudyante natin in Metro Manila alone. So ganun kalaki ang challenge, ganun kalaki ang hinahabol natin. Oo.
Okay, last 2 A's and then Bernadette.
Secretary, balikan ko yung ROTC, Kasi na-approve siya nung House sa third and final reading, pero yung Senate hindi pa. Mag-a-adjourn na po sa June 7 yung Congress. How optimistic are you that the ROTC will still pass? Given na konti na lang yung session days. Tapos
Si Yusik Elaine ang talagang masipag na nag-attend ng lahat na hearings.
yeah, tsaka lame duck sessions na yung natitirang mga sessions.
Senator Gatchalian said that he will be pushing for the approval of the bill. That's the only, before June 7.
How optimistic are you?
Well, we are optimistic to that because he has already all the numbers in Senate, at the Senate. No? It's not a lame duck Senate because they still have 2 weeks to go.
Hindi, yung sessions kasi konti na lang eh.
Yes.
And then may
oo.
bycam pa. Kaya pa o kaya yun?
Ang kailangan lang naman dyan is matapos nila by June 7 yung passage ng Senate bill.
In the event na mabypass po yung bill, ano yung gagawin ng DepEd?
Well, we'll just wait for the next Congress to refile it.
And will you actively engage again the lawmakers?
Of course, we always actively engage with the lawmakers. No? Senator Gatchalian most probably will be pushing for that again. The Congress who has passed the bill will be pushing for that again.
Okay. Salamat, Yusek.
Thank you.
Okay, Bernadette, and then maglalasa tayo kay RJ.
Secretary, can you illustrate to us the impact of the budget impasse on the construction of new schools po? How many schools po yung naapektuhan ng budget delay po? And yung other programs po ng DepEd, how was this affected po? Thank you.
Thank you. I made that appeal noon when the passage of the budget was delayed kasi nadi-delay din yung aming ano. Si Yusek Ann can share some data with us.
Good morning, and thank you for the question. We just have to be optimistic. It's now past. So let's look at that way. But January to March, we were not able to award any contract. And we are supposed to build about 4,100 new classrooms and repair or replace a lot of classrooms as well. Pagbago po yung classroom, DPWH na nag-i-implement. Pagka-repair sa amin, we did, on our part, an early procurement activity or process. So we are just waiting for the awarding. Ngayon po, iniintay namin na mabigay sa amin yung allotment, and we are closely coordinating. Yesterday, I was with DBM, and we are now working out na ito po ay ma-release kaagad so we can start the work. Kung gaano karami compared to last year, this is only about 8% of what we did last year. Mas mababa kasi ang binigay na budget sa amin ngayon on school building. Last year, we have about 109 billion. But for now, we only have about 14 billion. So that's what we're saying. Ang iniintay namin ay yung matapos yung mga hindi natapos ng previous years. At ito yung mga 2015, 2016, 2017, and 2018. And we are expecting about 50,000 or more of this classroom to be delivered and completed by the implementing agency, which is DPWH. Kaya hindi po masyadong problematic pag sinabi nyo on the classroom side. What is more problematic for us is yung pong ibang mga programs. Kasi minsan ang napapansin lang yung pag-ready ng classroom. Marami po kaming malalaking programa na mas naapektuhan ng reenacted budget. And this is the creation and filling up of teachers' position, which is about 10,000 position. But DBM said they will now release it because election ban has already been lifted. Purchase of our school supplies and equipment and also learning materials affected din. And ito rin pong voucher system. I know there's a lot of question about voucher system. I'll take this opportunity. Marami po kasing na-misinform na hindi tuloy ang voucher system. Tuloy po iyan. Kahit nga po iniintay pa natin yung pagpasa ng budget, kapag po ang estudyante from public wants to transfer to a private school, automatic he or she doesn't need to apply. He or she has the voucher. Kasi galing siya sa public and he or she opted to go to the private. As long as the private school is accredited. Yun po yung criteria. Next, all voucher recipients, kung ako ay nakaka-receive na, next school year, automatic, I still have the voucher. So wag mong problema, no? Kasi automatic yon. Ang hindi lang po namin na-open is the online application. Yun po yung sobra. And that is only about 8% of the 1 million voucher beneficiaries that we have.
Siguro si Yusek Jess can also give additional information on the demand for teachers. Oo. Kasi nangangailangan din kami ng additional teachers.
Yeah. Well, dagdag doon sa sinabi ni Yusek Ann, we propose the creation of 10,000
teachers. That was the one approved by Congress, no? Pero mas malaki yung hinihingi namin. Next year, we are requesting for more teachers to protect nga yung tinatawag naming teacher-pupil ratio. Kasi as we pivot towards quality education, no? Quality. Kasi tapos na natin yung access eh. So quality ngayon ang tututukan natin. Ang pinaka-importante dito yung teachers. Kaya tututukan namin to sa senior high school kasi dito magkakaroon ng mga specialization. Iba-iba yung tracks natin eh. Maliban doon, pati yung kinder grade 1 kasi ito yung foundational. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, sorry.
When it comes to the school building, there are about 66,050 classrooms being constructed right now. That's the ongoing number of classrooms, 66,050. Okay. By the opening of classes and by end of June, there will be completed of about 12,752 classrooms out of those 66,050. So out of those 66,000, ma'am, 50, there will be 12,752 already completed and ready to be used for the next school year. This is aside from the 4,000 that we have programmed. Okay, so for this year. So ganon yung pan. So even though we did not have the 4,000 projects under 2019 move before the elections or even until now, we still have about 12,000 to be completed and 66,000 ongoing. So ganun pa kalaki. Yeah, that's how big we are looking at the construction status of our school building programs.
Okay.
Kay Yusek Ann po or ma'am, clarify ko lang po. So nag-usap po kayo ng DBM kahapon po, 'di ba? So ano po yung binigay na commitment nila? Kailan po nila i-release yung funds
Yes,
po?
DBM is a strong partner of DepEd. And in fact, after the meeting yesterday, this morning, they are asking for some details at malapit nang ma-release yung aming allotment. And even before that, ang aming implementing units are really preparing for it. Kahit po wala pa yung allotment, mga regional directors, superintendents are aware because as early as January and February, we prepared for this already.
Okay, Secretary, may last two po tayo. Si RJ and then Joseph Morong. RJ, microphone please.
Ma'am or sir, when do we expect to have all these 66,000 classrooms completed?
Si Yusek Pascua.
Maybe the agency to answer that is
DPWH.
DPWH. Because it will be DPWH who is doing the implementation of the school building program. Dito sa part ng DepEd is we program them, we identify the schools and the areas where they will be built, and then we pass on the implementation to DPWH.
But ideally, when?
Ideally, they should have finished that by the end of this year.
All 66?
Supposed to be. Supposed to be. Ang nagiging problem lang kasi natin, there were years prior to 2019 where the life of the funds are 2 years. Were 2 years or are 2 years. So yung implementation, delayed palagi. No, kaya yung 2 years dati, magiging 3 years yan pagdating sa implementation. Yung 1 year natin, for example, last year, na-extend ulit for this year, so it's
2
another
years.
3 years. So pag pausog ng pausog yung implementation mo, pahaba naman ng pahaba. So, but we already told the DPWH to speed up the completion of this construction of buildings, and we will already be implementing within the year a monitoring of all the buildings, of all the projects, so that we can always remind them on a monthly basis.
All right.
Kasi yung funds direct yan na dina-download sa DPWH. We don't see the color of the money for the school buildings. Talagang implementation DPWH.
Ma'am, one last question for teachers. Kailan daw po nila talaga maaasahan yung salary increase?
Yung sa last tranche ng SSL, na-implement naman eh. Na-implement na.
Alright.
Oo. Ngayon, nag-agree si Presidente sa proposal ng DBM na hindi lamang tingnan ang salaries ng teachers, kundi yung kabuuang salary structure ng ating pamahalaan. And that is what DBM is doing. Kasi may budget implications yan eh. Oo. We're counting here billions and trillions if you look at the entire system. So, yun ang masasabi ko. Na pumayag naman si Presidente. Pre-propose yan sa cabinet ni Secretary ng DBM.
Okay, thank you, RJ. Last question, Joseph Morong.
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Suki.
Ma'am, I understand. Well, you mentioned that you need to create 10,000 teaching positions, no? And I remember there is an offer from China to import our English teachers. And I understand, based on some conversations with other people, that is quite a complication because of its possible effect on our number of teachers here. In principle, di ba agree ba yun? Or do you like that idea of sending our teachers to China instead of here? Because, you know, the pay is understandably higher there than...
That request was made siguro 3 years ago when first time. The interest was not in 10,000 teachers, but 50,000 teachers of English. And my response at the time is that if we have 50,000 teachers of English, we would like to utilize them in the Philippines. The matter of China's interest in Filipino teachers is shared by other countries as well. China is not the only country interested in Filipino teachers. Thailand, for example, likes Filipino teachers because Filipino teachers have a way with children and with learners. But even as we are talking about it, by the way, there was no agreement signed when I went to Beijing. While we are discussing this, already Filipino teachers are going to China. Already Filipino teachers are going to Thailand. Already Filipino teachers are going to the United States and other countries. What we want is to protect our teachers, because there are agents who recruit privately Filipino teachers to go to these various countries. And when they reach the country, like they reach the US of A with the dream of the great American dream, pagdating nila doon, mayroon namang agent waiting, also extorting fees. Same also as in other. Ang gusto lang namin, if a teacher, for example, decides to work abroad, he or she has to be protected. This is why ang gusto natin, government to government, para ma-regulate natin. Halimbawa, one country gave us a very desperate deadline of April. They need 3,000 teachers agad. So, and we said we don't have that many, maski even 200. Oo. Kasi this is kasi we ask, what are the terms of reference, etc. And if a teacher decides, for example, to work abroad, because that is a person's human right where they want to work, they have to resign. Kasi they cannot take a leave, and if they don't like it then they will come back. And in the meantime, mabakante tayo. Yung implication mo na sinasabi mong, it will be a loss to the department if, ano. So, nothing is happening yet at the government-to-government level. But there are already teachers who are going there, but not in great numbers. Kasi there are other countries which are just as attractive. Or perhaps yung isang neighboring country, halimbawa, may preference ang mga Filipinos na pumunta doon because they can easily come back 2 hours, 4 hours away lang pagbalik nila dito, and then they go back. Kasi at saka may program kasi ang Department of Labor na where kung makaturo ka na sa ibang bansa, pagbalik mo, you can also teach here in the Philippines. Maraming they go abroad just to get the experience and then come back. Maraming ganon. So, ayun. Ang bottom policy namin dito, Joseph, is it has to be, ang gusto natin, government to government for the protection of the teachers, for those who decide. And as to the fear of the alarming numbers, now, if a teacher wants to teach English to Chinese learners, they have to know Mandarin English, Mandarin Chinese. If they want to teach in Burma, Burma is interested in Philippines, they have to know Burmese. So it's not that yung bukas interesado ka din you go off. Oo. And right now, ang alam namin na trained talaga in Mandarin English here in the Philippines, about 300 lang. And they're not particularly interested in going to China. They're more interested in teaching Chinese to learners here because that's one of the languages. So government to government for their protection, terms, etc. para mo monitor at saka ma-relate natin sa atin ding supply of teachers. Kaya tsaka mga Filipinos, if you give them a choice, of course, especially women, they would not like to fly off anywhere else. And that is where we try to make teaching in the public sector, for example, competitive. So, medyo hindi ako masyadong na-alarma dyan, Joseph. Dahil maghanap ko pa na marunong ng incheck, marunong ng Thai, and so on. And mag-aral pa sila. Mag-aral pa sila ng yeah, Joseph.
I'll just add, the emerging trend now is actually to use artificial intelligence and online teaching. That is being discussed now with some industry partners. Na you make use of your English teachers and other teachers in the Philippines, but you use artificial intelligence and online teaching to other countries. They stay here. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, thank you, Yusek. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Secretary Briones. Thank you sa ating mga DepEd officials. Sec Lambino. Thank you. Thank you, MPC. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network. Salamat, Secretary.